Hi, folks. This is Mountain Man coming to you from parts unknown. How is everybody doing tonight? Uh, I'm coming up a little bit late, but I made it. Boy, we had a march on Moscow. We had Mr. T do back-to-back rallies, not rallies, but speeches. And, there's a few little things he threw in there, some nuggets. And this supposed coup in Russia fizzled out. And there's a lot of things at play that are going to be very interesting to talk about. But here you see a meme. I want to see a coup. And I said a real coup. Perfection. So we know what a coup looks like in our country. And there's a lot of little things that people might not know about this situation. Some intrigue. But we'll get into that. Let me see who all's coming in the chats. Little Apple Dumpling, how you doing? Rubber Toe. Nikki B, you've been up already for 3 hours. I hope you're not too tired, honey. Quilt, Kim, B-Dog, Diane, Kathy, Leisha. So, Melinda. Hi, everybody. Hi, Debbie. Everybody's making it in. If you tune in after the live stream, you can check out the chats afterwards. They get reloaded. Hi, Angel. And if you want to be part of the chats, make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell so you know when I go live. Hi, Lucy. Brighter day. Hi, Robin. How are you? And I uploaded a video that I was trying to play, and it got stuck in the bottom right-hand corner, but I got it positioned right. The Zuckerberg Elon Musk battle. I've already seen a preview of it. How you doing, William? How you doing? So anyway, here it is. Let me get it expanded real good. Have you all seen this battle? Oh, we can only hope. When more people get in the chats, I'll play that again. I just got those disappointed I didn't get to play it last night. So anyway, that's probably how it would go, right? Bad storms in Indiana, Debbie says. Shoo, hang on to your hat. Well, they said there were storms up there where Mr. T was in Michigan. So let's hope he makes it back safe, for crying out loud. I've been looking up memes and stuff, and here's one that you all may or may not have seen. Yesterday, Mr. Trump said that the left has a problem with the Lord, with God, on top of all the other problems that they have. Just wait 1 second. I'll be able to straighten out my studio and be able to move the thing around. I got some lag time going on in my studio, and they said network errors. So I don't know, folks. Let me know if I'm coming through okay. Hi, Donna. My chats are about halfway froze, and I'm not getting very much response. But we'll see if it kicks back in a minute. I've got a frozen screen, folks, but I hope you can hear me okay. Hi, Sharon. How are you? So, let me try my special effects. Maybe that'll kick things out, get things unfrozen. I don't know. We shall see. Here, let me try the bird. There goes the bird. Okay, so that's working. I don't know why. Everything else appears to be frozen. I'm not getting any complaints. Okay, I got some 5x5s. Yeah, Debbie said 5x5. Nikki said 5x5 quilt. 10-4 from Matt. Haha, good. Kim said loud and clear. Good. Okay, well, I just got to get my screen unfroze. See what's going on with that. All right, let me see. Here we go. It unfroze. Might have been Bird that did it. Huh. That is weird. But anyway, if you don't teach them God's truth, well, isn't that something? Satan will gladly deceive them with his lies. So that might be one you want to copy. Because we've had a collapse culturally. We really have. And it's causing a lot of human suffering. Oh, I see. Well, you got quite the name there. And I hate to tell you this, but we're going to have to remove that name from the chats. And it will self-destruct. It won't self-destruct. It'll get destructed. I guess Nikki can take care of that. And you're going to have to get a more acceptable name, and you're welcome to come to the chats. But not with a name like that. And I won't repeat it. So people just have to wonder, I guess. But anybody with a little bit of background and uses old knows not to do that. So probably somebody trying to cause trouble. Either that or not an overbright person, I would say. But anyway, let me try to get back to what I'm getting at. So, a lot of opinions on this march to Moscow. I had hourly reports, quarter-hour reports on what was going on. It happened our time, very early in the morning. Putin gave a speech at 3 a.m. Washington time, maybe 3:15 Washington time, telling them there's traitors going on. I had traitors coming his way, and he wasn't very happy about it. And if anybody wanted to get themselves out of trouble, they needed to turn around and toot sweet. But that certain people would not be forgiven. Let me get that out of there. Delete. So, B-Dog says Dr. Hotel versus Robert Kennedy on the undercard. He's going to run from Kennedy. I can tell you that. He's not going to debate him for 1 minute. But anyway, this is what some people put in a meme they think really happened with the March on Moscow. And, of course, the regular media is putting it out that Putin's been wounded, he'll never recover, blah, blah, blah. Whoops, let me get that out of here. And here's one view of what really happened on the march to Moscow, the attempted coup. Well, it's playing again. That's okay. So it is true. After Wagner left and went on their, quote, march on Moscow, Russian security forces had taken over the Wagner Group's headquarters and recovered 4 billion rubles and a bunch of banknotes, lots of banknotes. So apparently there wasn't very much security left back at their headquarters, and they had 4 billion rubles laying around. And shortly thereafter, you had the president of Belarus step in and negotiate. And you also had some military action going on. Now, I thought things were suspect when they said they had 25,000 men. Now, that's, a suspect number. But also I saw video of them bringing tanks on flatbed trucks. And, hey, Russia has got laser-guided missiles. They've got a threat on Moscow. This commander would know could get taken care of if Russia wanted to. And there was the Chechens had already arrived. They were probably 15 minutes from engaging with Wagner, and they did the big turnaround. And this person in charge is in Belarus. And here's the president of Belarus. Let me pull him up. And the notion is that, I got to get that other video off. There's the notions that this thing was put up just by what the meme that you've seen was to pick the CIA's pocket. But I'll get into that in a minute. But anyway, this is, do you remember Lukashenko was already written off? Like this time, like his time is up. But with the help of Russia, he resisted. We helped suppress the local Maidan. I've told you all about Maidan. Happened back in 2014 in the Odessa area of Ukraine, where 90 Russians were burned alive in a building, and the people were not punished or anything like that. That was in 2014, the Maidan massacre. But anyway, so the help was not in vain. Just imagine Belarus headed by some U.S. puppets in the negotiations of the war in Ukraine against NATO. Today, old man returned the favor, having rendered very significant service. A crisis fraught with civil war was resolved through him. So, the background to that is that Putin had given Belarus nuclear weapons, as you know, very recently. Here's Lukashenko shaking hands with Putin. And he stepped in and spoke with the main antagonist, who I'll show you a video where I read the subtitles. I tried to turn the music down so you could hear it. But this is just before, this video was just before the big turnaround. The big turnaround is what I call it. When they had some tanks on the road, and but anyway, here's the interaction with the when they came up to the first military base, about 200 miles, less than 200 miles from Moscow proper, and they had taken it over and interacted with a Russian commander, and you'll see how they interact with each other and what the claimed issues were. I'll cut my mic off and play it. But I did comment over the subtitles. Wagner boss arrives in Rostov, military headquarters seized. So here he comes. They shoot at us. We take them down on military helicopters. Third down already. We will destroy all if you keep sending, because you are targeting civilians. You just destroyed a bus full of people. You've got no conscience. Well, I'm hearing this for the first time. I'm talking with you formally. Who are you to talk with me informal with me? I never referred to you informally. I'm trying to find solutions and answers to you. Let's be serious. What do we do now? I repeat, we are here after the Chief of Staff and Shago. If they don't come out, we won't leave. We'll block Rostov and head to Moscow. I'll ask you to take your units out. Nope, no chance. The boys will stay here. We're not interfering with your work on the front line. Men are dying on the front line that you send as troops. You give them no ammo, no commands, no plans. You're all just old clowns. What's sad is that Kiev is partying for the past 3 days. That's nothing. Since they'll keep partying when you keep retreating from Lehman and Izium, that's when they're party every week, while we, Wagner, have never retreated. Country. But why use force? Listen to me one more time. If we had the ability to talk with you properly, we wouldn't be here with tanks. You get me? If only you weren't sending helicopters against us. So you believe you're in the right. Absolutely right. We're rescuing Russia. So let me explain. Some people in the chats might not know what's going on, what Wagner Group is, what the hubbub is all about. Wagner Group just finished up in the northern part of Ukraine, taking an area called Bakhmut. We've talked about it in the past. And as you heard these gentlemen talking, their presence in Moscow did not interrupt anything on the front lines. And so Wagner had achieved their objective by taking Bakhmut from Ukraine, and that was considered to be a disaster for Ukraine. Now, this group had stood down temporarily, like being on leave, and since then, the offensive by Ukraine has started and been a dismal failure. I mean, I had a lot of stats on that, but it's pretty much been decided that has been a complete failure. So people are wondering, what is this thing all about? And here we've got a good little picture for you. Was it a setup? Was it a setup? And I think it was a big game. I think it was a big game. That video you just watched, if you get a chance, read the text. It's all laid out like with a bow on it. Saying that the Wagner Group is frustrated. They're mad at Shoigu and the military command. No mention of anything against Putin. The troops were removed. That in no way interfered with frontline activities. Billions of dollars were recovered. Okay, now they claim there were helicopters shot down. And they claim a large airplane was shot down. But let me show you. This is brief. I think it plays twice. And it's a little tricky to see. But you see that black dot in the sky? That is a helicopter. And you will see on the right, the horizon in the sky, you'll see a missile be launched toward this helicopter, and it will throw some diversionary some flares out to redirect the missile so it misses the helicopter. So there was some action in the sky caught by cameras. I'll go ahead and play it for you.
Пошел, а он еще и ловушку. Это 28-й все-таки?
Смотри, полетел.
Пошла, пошел, а он еще и ловушку.
So I don't know. The ground to air missile was coming right at the helicopter. You see some flares. Let me expand it a little bit. You see some flares come out of the helicopter, and it throws the missile off course, and it explodes elsewhere besides the helicopter.
Пошел, а он еще и ловушку. Это 28-й все-таки?
Смотри, полетел.
Пошла, пошел, а он еще и ловушку.
But anyway, just prior to the turnaround, there was somebody with a anti-aircraft missile that got vaporized. Wagner claimed Russia killed several of the soldiers on purpose. Yeah, there were all kinds of stories like that. Rob said, I heard from a friend in Russia, so I was told what's going down. Yeah, I think nothing is as it seems, Mike said. That's right. I mean, it is really, when you look at it, this convoy to Moscow and then the abrupt turnaround, it didn't last 24 hours, a bunch of money being taken. The guy gets hustled off to Belarus, and he's going to probably stay in Belarus, and Wagner Group is going to be absorbed into the regular army. So here's where they intercepted that supposedly somebody with a surface-to-air missile. You see somebody, a little figure underneath that bridge. You see that truck moving towards the overpass, and then right underneath it, there's a person standing. So this might play on a loop. I don't know. It might play a couple of times because it's quick. So it may have been that there were elements in the Wagner Group that needed to be drawn out, cleaned out, and this they call them Prigo or Prigo for short. He may have just been playing along because Zelensky and the media and everybody had declared that they were a terrorist organization, had made the Wagner Group a terrorist organization. They put a price on the commander's head. I'm sure they were finished with their backwood job. They were pretty much standing down. Then all of a sudden you have this drama, and it ends almost as quickly as it began. So, I think finding the money, the very quick resolution, and this leader going to Belarus, it wasn't as plump and plain as they're putting it. Now, here's where the intrigue comes in. Here's where some intrigue comes in. This is what the mainstream media is putting it as. Because right now, for this person to stay safe, he has to pretty much stay in Belarus. Because if he was working, how did I jump that forward? I don't know. If he was working with Putin to clean out Wagner and get billions of dollars from the CIA, they're going to feel betrayed. So the Ukrainians, the CIA, and NATO are going to feel betrayed, and they're going to want to whack him. So they're going to blame Putin, of course. But I think this was something that was pretty much a play put out for people to get Wagner redeployed, to diffuse it as a separate entity of mercenaries. And Prego had probably been approached many times to be bought off, okay, to be bribed to turn on Putin. So I think they set something up to say, okay, you want to bribe me, give me the money. And then they pulled this stunt. So now this guy is playing it off like Putin is going to be going after this guy in some kind of tricky way. But it's really, I believe, going to be the CIA, Zelensky, and NATO.
I don't think he's out of the game. And although there's been this deal with Vladimir, is going to deliver on the deal. I mean, if I were Prigozhin, I would keep my bodyguards close and my food taster closer, because poison is one of Putin's favorite instruments of getting revenge.
So it's anybody's guess. I don't think it's how they're painting it out to be a fatal blow to Putin or something that's going to cause him long-term problems. As far as the news cycle goes, it was a flash in the pan. They did everything they did. They got the footage they did of all these tanks coming. You had people on bicycles in the street blocking the convoy. Let me see if I got a picture of that. Of course, they're not going to show that in Western media. Telling the Wagner group, what are you doing? What are you doing here? You're supposed to be sticking with us. And, an old guy on a bike. I don't know if I come across that picture, I'll put it up. But the thoughts are from the memes I've shown you, and memes are important. They put out truths and they put out theories. And as we know, most of the time they turn out to be correct. So Putin didn't have to let him go to Belarus. If he wanted to be done with him, he could have done just like he did that character standing underneath the bridge. They have that capability, and they didn't use near what they could have used. But anyway, like the Ray Epps meme with the guy. Then you've got this meme here. Who put this one out? Harrison Crank. Arrived in Moscow to storm the Kremlin. Let's see. That's right. Ivana, he is more ethical. The Chechens were right on there. When the Chechens, now that what I meant to explain earlier, Wagner Group took care of the north in Bakhmut. Prior to that, all the reporting and all the stories and broadcasts I did about Mariupol is the other way to pronounce it, Mariupol, down in the southern end of Ukraine on the coast. That was the Chechens. And Putin had called them up. And here you go. Let me see. I can only put one thing up at a time. So I found it. and I'll put it up. Let me get this one off the screen and put this one up. So by 9 o'clock our time, you have Special Forces Akhmat in the city of Aksai, 15 minutes from Rostov. Those were the Chechens that were called up, and they are an experienced fighting force. They're nothing to play with. And if that deal hadn't got cut toot sweet, there would have been a heavy, heavy conflict going on. And Wagner is good, but they don't want no parts of that. They don't want no parts of the Chechens if they can avoid it. So that, and I saw some footage of some tanks doing a U-turn just prior to that. And before anybody announced that things were over, when I saw those tanks doing a U-turn, I said, well, it's over, because I was keeping tabs on it from the wee hours of the morning. And it turned out to be a flash in the pan. And then we got this not one more meme, but another meme right here. We need to go into the Kremlin. But I think it was coordinated. Yeah, Chechens get bloody, Ivana. They sure do. And they are sharp. I mean, scalpel sharp the way they do things. So let me just see what's going on in the chats. Yeah, keep our head on a swivel. Robin said, be ready for anything. So, anyway, let's see. Clandestine put up a good point to think about with what happened with this situation. And I hate not leaving stuff on the screen, but I can't put, let me see if this is it. Oh, here's something the Russian news media put up. MFA Russia. Here's another history lesson for the West. U.S.-led sponsored wars have a similar pattern. Humiliating defeat, hasty retreat, abandoned allies. The result, wasted taxpayer monies and human lives lost. Bay of Pigs, 61, Saigon, 75, Kabul, 2021, Kiev coming soon. So, yeah. Kiev coming soon. And Mr. T did say something today that, because we always say, did it seem like just the same old thing? Did he say anything new? Well, I heard him say something new, and it was about China. Did anybody pick it up? What Mr. T said that we haven't heard before? And he'll do that. He'll sprinkle something new in his discussion. Yeah, Karen, it was a meme making fun of Ray Epps. Let me find it again. I'll put this one up. It's a meme making fun. See, here's the first one I put up, making fun of Ray Epps, whispering to the guy, "We need to go to Moscow." So yeah, Ray Epps is his memes are everywhere. He's going to be very well known when this is all over with. But I'm looking to see if anybody heard anything new from Mr. T today in the chats. And here's something from yesterday I didn't get to put up, but keep it in mind, folks, because I'll do something on a broadcast and I won't, like a week later, somebody will hear the same. I remember a long time ago, I said, Peter Strzok, who was the main FBI creepo with Lisa Page, was CIA, also working for the CIA. I said that Adam Schiff is CIA. Okay? As a matter of fact, a lot of our elected representatives spent time on the farm. Okay? The farm is Langley. Okay? That's a CIA training ground. Yeah, he said April Fool. Trump had a purple tie on. I was listening to Nikki's broadcast. I didn't look at his tie very close. I was doing something but listening. And I heard pink. I don't know. A purple tie. Sussman wore a purple tie to his trial. And this is, Kash Patel has said from the beginning, this is a purple revolution. Color revolution, purple. That may be true, Yvonne. I don't know, but I know he's C.I.A. Yeah, he keeps saying that about April Fool. But he said that China was going to rat out Biden. And he said that would end his presidency. Do you remember that? Trump said, Biden's got to let them put the bases in Cuba because he's gotten so much money from them. And he said, if he doesn't watch out, China's going to prove exactly how, where, and how he got that money. And he said that will be the end of the Biden presidency. And he said, I don't see how even the fake news media can cover that one up. He said, even though they may do it. But he said they're going to drop a dime on Biden with proof. He didn't say that yesterday. Oh, Robin, I see what that said. You stay out of my way when I wear a purple tie. Is that what that means? Will Hurd, a former Central Intelligence Agency operative and member of the House Representatives, has announced his candidacy for the 2024 Republican nominee. So, yeah, we've got a lot more of those operatives in there than people know, than people realize. I'll put it that way. A lot more than people realize. So, well, let me see what the next thing I'm going to put up here. Citizens Free Press. We're supposed to believe that this is martyr made. We're supposed to believe that Prigozhin thought he could march 1,000+ kilometers to Moscow with a handful of troops, no air support, to depose a popular leader. But they just hugged it out, and Putin is going to let the whole thing go. I just don't buy it. There's way more to the story. So, yeah, it's all over the place that there's something else going on besides the Wagner group being upset and wanting to kick out the military leadership. I think they conned the con artists out of billions of dollars, and they got the Wagner group redeployed, and they moved Prigozhin to a safe location, international guarantee of safety. Okay, I think that was it, because he was very vulnerable in Ukraine, in a stand down position. This takes care of a lot of problems. It takes care of a lot of problems, plus picks the pocket of the CIA. He just left the bribe money laying on the ground, and the Russians picked it up. That's enough to tell me right there what's going on. And they didn't start turning those tanks around till the report came in that the money was secured. And the Chechens were right there. Joe Biden has officially lawyered up this. Joe Biden has officially lawyered up. This is what a real scandal looks like. So I don't know how many people caught that. This was I had that clip yesterday, and people were talking about the Supreme Court coming up with something. We know we got the Brunson case going on, stuff like that. But how many of you all heard about this? The Supreme Court upholds a law barring encouraging illegal immigration. 2 days ago, the Supreme Court dismissed a challenge to a law that forbids people from encouraging or inducing illegal immigration. How you doing, Roy? Yes, he has outsmarted them every step of the way. So let me see here. Here's a good little meme. Operation March on Moscow, that's what it was. But anyway, still waiting on the military to defend the United States from treason. Kid Rock. So if you want to get a screen grab of that, I'm keeping them off to the right just in case the chats freeze up like they did that one time where you couldn't get a good look at the memes I put up. Yeah, Jill wears, they take curtains off of hotels that are being torn down and rebuilt. They take all the curtains out of the old hotel and make her dresses out of them. Like the 1960s motels where every room was a smoking room. But anyway, let's remember this, folks. What was it yesterday? It might have been the day before yesterday. 1 year anniversary. How fast time has flown. A year. I couldn't believe it. I said, wait a minute. No, it hadn't been that long. This is Alec Brucewitz. Who's responsible for delivering that major pro-life victory? This guy. So when people say nothing's happening, got to count your blessings, and things have been happening big time. I'm just checking out some chats. So anyway, here we go. Now, tell me if this isn't typical of the people you got to deal with. I got to get this this picture off. I'll put this meme up. What are we going to do with these kind of people? Ugh. Typical. See that? Typical. I'll get that out of the way so I can, and I'll cut my mic off. This guy wears a Biden shirt, and I guess it makes people willing to talk to him that otherwise wouldn't. But anyway, let me play this for you, folks. How many people like this have you run into or have in your life?
The election was tomorrow. Who would you vote for? Trump?
Not Trump.
Not Trump?
Not ever Trump.
Why?
I mean, I don't even think there's any reason why I should answer that. Seriously.
Can I have one reason? I'm just curious.
He has been a liar. He has been all about himself. Everything he's done, he's ruined this country. He's been a cancer, in my opinion, for this country.
How though?
What? Do you ever watch the news or not?
If the election was
I'll play that again. And you watch the husband. Just imagine if you were that woman's husband, for crying out loud. He doesn't nod in agreement. I'm telling you, I think he's going to vote for Trump, but he can't say nothing. He's a prisoner. He's trapped. But just watch the husband. If you see any motion of him of agreement with his wife, I don't think you'll see any.
the election was tomorrow, who would you vote for? Trump?
Not Trump.
Not Trump?
Not ever Trump.
Why?
I mean, I don't even think there's any reason why I should answer that. Seriously.
Can I have one reason? I'm just curious.
He has been a liar. He has been all about himself. Everything he's done, he's ruined this country. He's been a cancer, in my opinion, for this country.
How though?
All what? Do you ever watch the news or no?
If the election was
Have you ever watched the news? Ding! That's what the problem is with people like that. But no, he was if you had body language ghosts looking at that video, he was actually leaning away from his wife, and he did not nod one time. But she can't say why she wouldn't support him. She says he's a liar, and just all garbage from the news, and that shows you just how dangerous the news can be. But look at this. Obama, he knows how dangerous the news can be because he said Fox News right-wing radio skews facts, makes people fearful of each other. Boy, he's starting to come out of the woodwork because he's starting to sweat. That's why. That's why he's coming out of the woodwork. And it is coming his way. And he knows it. And they're going to have to do something about Joe. That's why I was saying the other day about Joe Biden. Now is not the time to get ourselves tied up in knots over Joe Biden being impeached. We don't want to take the spotlight off of the characters. We don't want to interrupt the show. We've got them where they want them. Whose problem is Joe? Joe is not our problem. Joe is Obama's problem. Joe is the Democrats' problem. They got to figure out what they're going to do and how they're going to get him out of there and who they're going to replace him with. Because we're not going to have a Myanmar-style coup. I say for history's sake, for the unity of this country's sake, for the preservation of civil behavior, I think this has got to be done in a way so this is a people's victory, uninterrupted, clean hands election, and a complete destruction of this philosophy, this political movement, and the climate cult, and all that stuff has got to be irrevocably, unquestionably squashed by the people. And I think that is the ultimate desire and the ultimate goal. And this is a military op. This is an information dissemination operation. So the military is involved. It's just not going to be done with violence. It's not going to be. The victory is going to belong to the people. So, B-Dog says his third term has aged him. Andrew says, Sam Brinton and Jussie Smollett. Okay, put him in as a write-in. See how good how that works. But anyway, folks, hey, I didn't say this. Joe said it. Joe said it, and it's getting in memes, so don't get mad at me. I told Biden if he didn't give me another $1 billion, I would expose his corruption. Yeah, tornado warning till 11 o'clock tonight. That's right, Divana, corporate government needs to go. That's called fascism. That is the definition. Who was the founder of fascism? Benito Mussolini. So he founded the movement. I think his definition would stand. Oh gosh, this one's going to make you mad, folks. Right here. Right here. Can you tell what they're saying while they chant? It plays twice, so in case you missed it. But these are some upstanding citizens that contribute to society, just exercising their free speech. So I don't know if you could make out what they were saying, but they said they're here, they're queer, and they're here for the children. So anybody says that that is a peaceful movement, they got something else coming. It ain't the way it is. St. Paul did not even know what the word fascism meant, Andrew. Here we have Catholic vote. I'm afraid you are correct, Mr. President, but remember, pride cometh before the fall. Today, the People's House, your house, sends a clear message to the country and to the world. America is a nation of pride. Yes, they did say that, Donna. That's what they were singing. We're here. We're, you know what, here, and we're here for your children. That's what they were repeating. So I'm just looking through the chats. Yeah, Mr. T said they won't be able to cheat because they're going to get, well, I tell you, his previous executive orders, they're going to be so obvious about it. They're going to be in long prison sentences, and a lot of people losing everything they own for being involved in that kind of nonsense. Let me see if I got some of the stuff I didn't go over. Armored personnel carriers today, Washington time. This is when they started turning around, right after 12 hours after Putin's speech. Criminal case on armed rebellion against Prigozhin will be terminated. During the negotiations, an agreement was reached that the Wagner PMC fighters would go into field camps and Prigozhin himself would leave for Belarus. Evgeny Prigozhin left the headquarters of the Southern Military District together with the fighters of PMC Wagner. That's where that film was taken of him talking with the Russian commander, was in the Southern Military District headquarters. So he was leaving shortly after that little speech. You don't know the fate as found in the House of Representatives? You mentioned a saint. Okay. Fascism was started in the 20s and 30s by Benito Mussolini, just like the Nazi movement was started. So you were referring to that, to fascism. I'm telling you who the founder of fascism, Benito Mussolini. So anyway, here's a good point that was put out. Just like Hitler was the founder of the Nazi party. The word Nazi did not exist before the 1920s, ever in history. So if you're talking about a saint, I don't know what saint knew anything about fascism if it didn't exist. Clandestine put out, do you see how the Ukraine folks are willing to believe anything if it supports their narrative? They went from saying Wagner weak and depleted from mass casualties in Bakhmut to fully believing that Wagner could take on Russian military, and now they're back to hating him, all within 24 hours. Yeah, Andrew, they did have a private phone Hunter paid for. Somebody put an article up. I think that was Red State News put an article up last week about Hunter Biden having to pay the cell phone bill on that. But it's, coming out now in a different way. That's good. But yeah, I read that in Red State News. And here is Diamond and Silk. Speaking of the last one I put up, why are we so distracted by Hunter Obama having secret meetings in the White House? Andrew, are you trying to be disruptive in the chats? Because if you are, I'm going to give you a 3-minute timeout next time you're disruptive, because that's a, 10th grade question, who was Nero? Or do you really not know? So anyway, let me see what this one is. Some of these things are so small, it's kind of hard to read what they are. Oh, here's one Bernie put up for Truth in Art TV. Let me see. Normal cognitive function. Normal cognitive function should be a requirement for working a state or federal level job. This shouldn't be controversial. What could be so controversial about this person? New Jersey, new gender. State Senate confirms first transgender cabinet official. In a unanimous 37-0 vote, the New Jersey Senate confirmed the state's first transgender cabinet official. Yeah, so we know there's some suspect going on with these ELECT shuns, right? Yeah, it's a dude. Jerry said it's a dude. Thank you, Nikki. Like Nikki said, I got to buy me a coffee link if anybody wants to help out. I've got a link in the description if anybody wants to help out with that. I'd appreciate it. Where's my happy soldier holding a cup of coffee? Oh, I don't know. It's way down there. I don't want to, since my stream is a little off tonight, it said network issues. So anyway, you think we'll ever get that lady that I just showed the video on? What you think we'll ever get her on the Trump train? Board the Trump train. So anyway, let's see what's going on. Hit that like button, Karen said. Yeah, thank you. Please hit the like button. I appreciate it. Let's see. So what did Mr. T talk about? Today he mentioned that China was going to put the bad finger on Biden, right? And that he would not be able to stand it, and that the mainstream media wouldn't be able to hide it. Well, they're having trouble hiding something right now. Have you seen this poll? And this is a mainstream media poll. Right track, wrong track versus right direction. Look at those numbers. Let me go ahead and play this. This is Chuck Todd on Meet the Depressed.
Something about just 20% of voters believe this country is headed in the right direction. 74% say the nation is on the wrong track. Let me tell you something about this moment. We have had this sustained period of 70%, about a year now. The negativity about the direction of the country was before the 92 election and before the 2008 election. Both of those changed the party controlling the White House.
Yeah, it's going to do more than change the party controlling the White House once we break up this business of 80% of the people being against this fooling around with gender business, but they still get in power. Once we break that system, they're done. They're done as a force. because Trump is going to, where'd I put that one? Trump is going to enact an existing law. If I can find it in the, he's going to enact an existing law that will prohibit the entry into this country by communists, Marxists, socialists. That's already law. We don't need to pass any new laws. We just need somebody who will enforce the laws. So I don't have the, I can't find the specific statute, but I've got it somewhere out in my other studio. But that's going to be enforced by Trump. And his speech yesterday, he brought up again, and he brought it up today too, the birthright citizenship. How that is going to be reversed. And what he said yesterday, he didn't say today. What he said yesterday, that he was going to see about passing a law concerning the ones who have already been born in this country to illegal immigrants. I think that if it's a situation like I described, China sending pregnant women over here solely for them to give birth on a tourist visa and then return to China, I think any situation like that will be declared illegal. Because there's estimates there's up to 1 million of them. So that's another thing that he brought up. And he keeps bringing up, and the mainstream media is silent about it. They know that it's going to be a big positive. And I mentioned that the Disney CEO was resigned. I mentioned that a number of days ago. But they didn't put it in this article. But still, staggering. Disney box office losses total nearly $900 million for recent movies. And they put it was typed up in the top that how many resignations Disney's got going on. One of their head creative whatever position they put up, but also the chief financial officer, and then Leslie Headland being fired. They had 3 top jobs go out of Disney, and they're losing money hand over fist. They keep putting out a bunch of woke garbage people don't want their children to see. And they're doing it on purpose. So anyway, folks, they're not mentioning how many times Trump has said he was going to conduct mass deportations. 2 solutions to the Biden border crisis in one photo. Let me make sure I get that over here. Because he put out his points, and they're doing everything they can to not repeat them. Here they are. Remember Agenda 47, Donald J. Trump. On day 1, we will secure our southern border. Shifting federal law enforcement to immigration enforcement, issuing a policy directive, establishing a core national defense mission to protect American sovereignty, and moving thousands of troops currently stationed overseas to our own border. That is on top of what he said concerning a revocation of birthright citizenship and conducting aggressive and speedy mass deportations. So, the news can't let that get out because Americans are crying out for relief. So anyway, I've gone over my hour, folks. That's right, Karen. No one wants woke movies. Well, let him run to Canada, Angel. Ha ha. Canada's going to have an uprising like we're having. And if we can lead by example, I think, but as I said, I think this is a global military police action. They're using information campaign, warfare campaign to counter the illegal psychological warfare campaign Trump already pointed out for the first time in legalese, in legal terms. He pointed it out, not in these last two speeches, but the one prior to that was the first time he ever used the legal term for what's going on. An illegal psychological warfare campaign, in the plural, different campaigns. And I believe this is a counter military operation to that. And I think it's going to cause a domino effect of criminal governments to fall once we cause them to fall here. Oh, that's right, Kathy. Me no speaky, no speaky. That's all they got to do. Go in the office and me no speaky. And you get the money, right? And this is a good one to get a screenshot and to share if you got a friend that just hates Trump and no matter what. But hey, if they have any love for their children, they got to pay attention to stuff like this. I'm going to put it on the screen. I put up a different article about a different state. Let me see if I can find it. Well, let me put it up. Where'd it go? Here we go. California. Oh my. There we go. California Dems advanced legislation to give therapists unconditional power to remove 12-year-olds from their parents. And that's the other thing Mr. T brought up tonight, and he brought up last night, and he's been bringing it up ever since. Parents' rights. Cameraman, I hope everything's okay. I've just seen what Robin wrote. Let me see. Hope everything's going all right, buddy. I'm just checking the chat, folks. I don't mean to be quiet. I just can't really read them and make a point at the same time. Oh, you had bad storms knocked your internet out. I had issues before I went live. It said the internet, what did it say? It said something, and I couldn't even pull the studio up. It was really, I thought I wasn't going to be able to broadcast tonight. So, yeah, I hope that stuff passes by you guys, and you guys stay safe. Did I put this up yesterday? Bernie again, Truth in RTV. The war is real. Take guns from law-abiding citizens and give them to criminals. Welcome to Illinois, the land of Lincoln. New Illinois bill will allow non-citizens to serve in law enforcement. The Gateway Pundit. We know that some places are considering allowing them to vote in local elections. Now they want to be in law enforcement, kicking citizens around like we don't have enough trouble with. You see it on YouTube all the time. People's rights being violated by our own citizens, our own police that are citizens. What do you think is going to happen? So anyway, folks, I'm going to play, since a lot of you weren't here, I played this earlier. Oh, no, where did you go? Now it's up in the upper Let me see if I can bring that down. Here we go. Here we go. I'm going to play this for people that didn't get to see it. I played it earlier in the video. Elon Musk and Zuckerberg throwing down. Ha 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 ha. So anyway, if somebody didn't get it in earlier in the video, there it is again. So anyway, folks, I can't play the nun. This is where they came up with the. Well, I'll play that some other time. I'm sure you all have seen where they came up with this 6.3 billion. Awful funny. I'll go ahead and play this. Isn't this funny? This was about 3 days ago. Awful funny how they come up with this accounting error, right? Oh, it doesn't want to play. They come up with this accounting error. Well, it's going to play tiny, but you guys can hear it. I think it's going to play tiny. They come up with an accounting error that gives them $6.7 billion, right? And next thing you know, this stuff with Wagner Group happens and somebody throws billions of rubles and banknotes on the ground. I don't know. See what you think.
Following up from some announcements earlier this year, during the department's regular oversight of our execution of presidential drawdown authority for Ukraine, we discovered inconsistencies in equipment valuation for Ukraine. In a significant number of cases, services used replacement costs rather than net book value, thereby overestimating the value of the equipment drawn down from U.S. stocks and provided to Ukraine. Once we discovered this misvaluation, the comptroller reissued guidance on March 31st, clarifying how to value equipment in line with the financial management regulation and DoD policy to ensure we use the most accurate of accounting methods. We have confirmed that for FY23, the final calculation is $3.6 billion, and for FY22, it is $2.6 billion, for a combined total of $6.2 billion. These valuation errors in no way limit or restricted the size of any of our PDAs or impacted the provision of support to Ukraine. And while the DoD retains the authority to utilize the recaptured PDA, this has no bearing on appropriated USAI or Ukraine PDA replenishment funding approved by Congress.
Yeah, they got the valuation wrong on those tanks. Don't you know that right when you drive a tank off the dealer's lot, it automatically loses a lot of its value? So that's the way they came up with an extra $6 billion. And then 5 days later, you got this situation with Wagner and people finding money on the ground. So anyway, folks, I appreciate you all spending your precious time with me. As I've said, I got a link in the description if anybody wants to help out with a buy me a coffee. And I'm going to close out with this video. People seem to enjoy the last time I played it. Let me see if it shows up on the screen. This is the one I'm going to close out with, if it will cooperate with me. But anyway, folks, I'll go ahead and click the button on. And I hope you all have a great night. And I'll be talking to you soon. Let me get this thing to play. This is Mountain Man, over and out.
Come on, Barack. Please pick up. For the love of God, pick up. Hello? Hello, Barack. Ah! Thank God you answered. I'm losing.
losing my mind. My thoughts are racing. I'm questioning my entire existence.
Joe, it is 3 in the damn morning, man. What in the hell is going on?
Barack, sorry.
Come on. Joe, go back to sleep. You've got a long day tomorrow.
No, Barack, wait. You know the trans LGBTQ event thing I had on the White House lawn yesterday with the fake boobies and the rainbows? And
Looked like a wonderful time, Joe. Truly.
it was a wonderful time, but I've just been, I don't know, it kind of turned me on a little bit. I'm so confused, Barack.
Joe, get it together.
Point.
Second, there's absolutely nothing wrong with what you're feeling. Wait, hang on a sec. Yeah,
Babe, who are you talking to so late?
it's just Joe, baby. He's having a moment. I'll be right back to bed, Mike. Love you.
Barack, so I'm not gay?
Look, Joe, you might be, or you might not be. Let's just figure it out in the morning, okay? Well, bless you, man.
That wasn't me. I already took my Benadryl.
Joe, shut the hell up. I think our line is compromised.
Hunter!
It can't be Hunter, Joe. Hunter's here doing lines with Michael. Michelle.
Oh, then who is it? Hey, make yourself known.
You want to take a wild guess, you filthy swamp creatures?
You've got to be kidding me, Joe. Hang up right now.
Donald Trump? No, it can't be. How?
It doesn't matter how. I heard absolutely everything, and it's quite tremendous how right I am about things, isn't it? I think it is.
This is a major violation, Donald.
Is it really, though?
Well, don't you have enough violations on your plate?
Yeah, don't you have enough violations on your plate, Donald?
Both of you can shut the fuck up. The major violation here is how you've weaponized the justice system against me. And guess what? You're gonna lose. You're gonna lose harder than you've ever lost before.
Barack, I'm scared.
Joe, you've turned the White House into a freak show.
Those boobs look real.
Barack, your entire existence is a freak show, and you're a lost cause, just like your birth certificate.
You know what? I'm not dealing with this. Joe, you're the president. Deal with it.
Come on, man. Look, Donald, here's the deal. I don't know what you heard, but I'm not actually gay.
Biden,
Please don't yell at me, Daddy.
whether you're gay or straight, doesn't matter to me. You're past that. You've been sniffing kids for decades. You're a degenerate, a loser, and a fraud. And guess what? You're fired.
No.